Hey guys, I am Adam. Welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. So let's get rolling. Let's start with a VR for the Drew A Vintage Legacy. So I'll put links to the channels below. I've got to know the Drew a fair amount, and I just really love the guy. Consider him a friend. Awesome guy. So check out his channel. And here's the deal. If you're a squid, he will still let you watch his channel. He will not tell you to beat it. So for all those squids out there, go check him out. All right, well, he wanted us to show a franchise player, and so I'm going to go with Joe Dimaggio. Now, this book right here, The Ball Players, the one and only book that tells the stories beyond the stats. So I want to read just a little bit about Joe Dimaggio. Now, the deal is, some people actually consider him the greatest overall player of all time for Major League Baseball. Now, that might seem insane, but it goes beyond the stats. During the centennial celebration of professional baseball, this was in 1969, Joe Dimaggio was named the game's greatest living player. The Yankee Clipper could do everything well. He may have been the best all-around player ever with a generous dash of class added in. We go on. Dimaggio was a beautiful hitter with a classic swing. He had an exceptionally wide stance that gave him a controlled short stride, strong wrists that generated enormous power, and the ability to wait until the last instant before lashing into a pitch. Dimaggio was more than a hitter. He was a splendid defensive outfielder with a great throwing arm. He made tough plays look easy. He was graceful and free of theatrics, and he was positioned correctly all the time. He was studious. His positioning encompassed the batter, the pitcher, and the count. He was always alert to the game situation and always threw to the correct base. He was virtually flawless in 1947, making one lone error on the year. He was introspective, sometimes stoic, but he was a leader all the same, steering the Yankees to 9 world championships. Of course, he had the famous 56-game hitting streak. Continuing on, many experts consider Joe Dimaggio the best player in the history of the game. A lot of his contemporaries or baseball players whose careers overlapped with his, felt the same way. Many experts consider Joe Dimaggio the best player in the history of the game. I guess I read that. He is admired not only for his achievements, but for his refusal to rest on his natural skills, working instead to constantly improve his play. He was responsible to himself, his teammates, and his fans. He had pride. He was more than an exceptional athlete. He was the consummate professional. And of course, he lost 3 prime years, I believe it was, to World War II as well. So I actually think Joe Dimaggio is underrated because I think that the stats do not tell the whole story. Now, is he the, greatest baseball player of all time? I mean, probably not, and it's really hard to say who the greatest is. I tend to think more like these are the greats of this era, these are the greats of this era, these are the greats of this era. I think it's maybe a little bit silly, but awfully fun to debate, who the greatest is. Well, without further ado, let me turn this camera around and let's look at my Joe Dimaggio card. All right, so I picked this up. This was my big pickup at the National this year. I'm not afraid to show off cards multiple times on this channel. The 38 Gaudy Joe Dimaggio. Now, here's the deal. How I am surprised, some people, a lot of people thought, experts and baseball players, that he was the greatest player of all time. And I think this is his rookie card by, the standard definition. Pretty amazing. But the media covered it for him back then and for his clear use of performance enhancers, because look at the size of that head. Nothing indicates performance enhancement like the size of the head, and that head is just huge. I mean, compare the head to the legs. Notice the lack of proper proportions here. So big Joe D fan, but again, the media, the players, Major League Baseball just clearly covered for him. Clearly, performance enhancers were the key to his success. Anyway, I absolutely love this card, and it's in the grade of poor one. And they call that a poor one because you will be a poor one, all right, once you buy this. I mean, if you weren't poor before you bought it, if you buy it, even in this grade, you'll be poor after you buy it. So, but you know what? It was worth, getting a little bit poorer. It was worth it to get that beauty. Absolutely love that card. Now I'm showing my Kiner. I showed this off, I think, my last video or maybe a couple videos ago. In a good 2. I mean, I'm showing it again just because I love to show cards more than once. And wow, the registration, the sharpness. It's got the pink with the deep blue. And that is, and the black on the back is so, they really laid that ink down. So I just absolutely love this card. Now, is it rare to get that color shade? These leaves come in different color shades. I don't think it's rare, but it's, scarce or maybe more desirable. At least I really love that color. I love the orange they come in as well. Okay, we are moving on now. A VR for John, Wade Boggs collector. I've had the privilege of meeting him in person at the last couple nationals. Really great guy. Here's the other thing. John, I'll have a link to his channel as well. Check him out. He goes into great detail showing, pretty much every fiber and talking about the pros and cons of each fiber on his new purchase. Now, let me tell you what I love about that. I'm kind of that way myself. So, John gives me some cover to do that myself. Of course, I'm exaggerating a bit. He's got a VR going. If you could only keep one card, what card would it be? Now, here's the deal, John. I think you know this. You're driving this community nuts because none of us want to just keep one card. But you know what? It's a fantastic question. I really appreciate it. And so let me show you the first 3 Topps cards of Willie Mays. I absolutely love this card. It was a PSA 2, but it had a little blotch that I thought was on the plastic, and I sent it to SGC in the PSA holder. They bumped it up to a 3, and sure enough, the blotch was on the plastic, so got rid of the blotch. So, I was, happy to get the little bump up in grade, but more happy about getting rid of that blotch. That's what bugged me. And then his second year Topps card anyway, from 53 Topps in a 3, SGC 3. This is my favorite 1953 Topps card, even more so than the Mickey Mantle. I mean, I love the Mickey Mantle in 53 Topps, but this is my favorite, and it's a tough, high number, the key to the series, I think. And finally, his first Topps card, the surface, the color, just amazing on this 2.5, and the sharpness. Obviously, something had to give, and that was the centering, but that's okay with me for this card. And this was in a PSA Authentic. It did not say Authentic Altered, but this was my big purchase from the first National. And I could not figure out what was wrong with it. Well, it turns out nothing was wrong with it. Someone probably just sent it in for authentication only, for whatever reason. And so it came back a 2.5 from SGC. So why am I showing these 3? Well, one of these 3 is the card I would keep if I could only keep one card. Now, here's the deal. I mean, there are other candidates in my collection for sure, like that Joe D that I showed. I mean, I would consider just keeping that card. And when I look at these 3, I can make a case for any of them, like the 54. That smile on Willie Mays' face. And here's the deal. 54 is my favorite set overall when you consider front and back. Just the beauty of the front and, that rich green and the cartoons on the back. Just, overall 54, front and back, factor both of them in. It's my favorite top set, vintage top set. So, there's a case for that. And again, his incredible smile there. And then for the 54, there's a case for just keeping that one. But then the 53, wow, a tough high number. The basket catch, one of the few sort of action shots within 53 Topps. just personifies vintage baseball to me. I mean, it would be so hard to let that card go. And then the 52, man, this is, arguably the most, historically significant baseball card set of all time. And of course, the mantle is crazy, crazy, crazy expensive. I'm going to make a crazy statement here to some. I actually think the Mays should be worth about what the mantle is. Now, I know the mantle is a tough high number, but the Mays is from one of the higher series, number 261. So, it's not that far behind. And I think Willie Mays is the best all-round player of all time. Again, I said a little earlier, can you really compare eras? But if you asked me to make a call, that's what I'm thinking. So, and 52 tops, such an important set. I love the look of 52 tops as well. There's something so classic about it. Those stars around the nameplate with the facsimile signature, those came from their contracts. So which one is it? I mean, it would be tough. I've got other cards too. But if I could only keep one card, John and everybody else, all of my friends, which that's all of you watching, if you're watching this, I'm calling you out as one of my hobby friends. This is it right here, the 52 tops Willie Mays. The best player of all time, in my opinion, from the most important set of all time, arguably, in my opinion, that I think should be worth pretty much the same as the mantle. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think it ever will be? Probably not. I mean, I actually think it'll close the gap some, but probably not because the market has spoken. That's just my opinion. So there you have it, John. But isn't it wonderful, glorious to see these beauties together? I want to work on my Willie Mays run, but there's so many cards vying for our attention that, it takes time. So I'm going to set these off to the side, and we are moving on to a third video response. Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards, has asked us to talk about some card backs that we really like. Now, if you win, you get a new car. Woo! All right, I'm totally joking. I hope no one just stopped watching and went over there to make a video. I don't think you win anything, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm cool with that because, this is just all about the collecting fun, and he just wants to see some card backs. So I'm going to show, basically I have a complete Tiffany run of Nolan Ryan, and I love the backs of those Tiffany's because, they had that white, higher quality cardstock and really vibrant colors on the back. So I'm actually going to show my entire Topps Tiffany Nolan Ryan run, starting with the back. So we'll start with 1984. To me, the backs of the Tiffany's, the backs of the regular Topps, the regular Topps from these years are still nice cards for sure. But the backs of the Tiffany's, to me, just, a huge step up in terms of the elegance, the vibrance, and of course, they're much tougher cards to find. By the way, when I was going after this collection of Nolan Ryan Tiffany's, I was looking, the backs mattered to me a lot. Not the centering so much, but the chipping. I was looking for pretty much chip-free on the back. And we'll take a quick look at the front. So that is an 8, but it's a glorious 8. This now, we'll move on to the 85 Topps Tiffany Nolan Ryan. This might just be with that vibrant lime green. This might just be my favorite Tiffany back from 85 Topps. We'll take a quick look at the front. I went ahead and left these in the sleeves, graded card sleeves, just to cut down on my video prep time. I gave my staff the day off. All right. So now we move on to the 86, the 86 Tiffany. This one is an SGC. Red, I'm a big sucker for red. Notice chip-free, a little bit off-center. I'll take a little off-center on the back or somewhat off-center, chip-free, over a centered back with chipping. For the backs, chip-free, I really like. And on the front, this black here too, I was looking for chip-free. And I was looking, on these Tiffany's, I was looking to get some solid left to right centering. I didn't care quite as much about top to bottom because, after all, these are not rare, but there aren't tons of them out there either relative to the demand or future demand, that's for sure. All right, so we move on now. I'm going to go ahead and move these to make more room. So that was the 84, the 85. I guess I'll move them one at a time. We'll go to the 87. So we got the nice yellow there and the blue, the back of the 87. And let's take a look at the front. Beautiful, beautiful card. So we're looking at the backs first because this is part of my VR for Rick Vintage Oddball Cards, talking about card backs that you love. So we're on to the 88, and it has that wonderful orange, chip-free, which is what I like. And there's the front, nice, clean design. And then he actually has two 89s because he was traded from Astros to Rangers. So we start with his 89 on the Astros. Love the black border on the back, and notice the beautiful pink there. And then the front, I love the 89 Topps design. That is just glorious. And then his 89 Topps traded. Notice it's a little different. I guess it's kind of pink, but it's maybe not even pink. A little different shade on the traded. Still love that chip-free black border on the back there, and then there's the front of the 89 Topps traded. And now we'll move to the 90. Shout out to Shane, Shoebox Legends. I believe, we're clubbies on this because I believe he added this one to his collection when he decided, that that would be needed since he's a big-time fan of 90 Topps. And I think the Nolan Ryan might be one of his favorite. I don't want to put words in his mouth. One of his favorite, if my memory serves me correctly, hopefully. Oh, I'm supposed to be showing the back first. I blew it. Sorry, everybody. Look at that glorious yellow on the back. And card number 1. Once again, chip-free, which I absolutely looked for, as I mentioned. And then there's the front. I like these 90 Topps. They kind of grew on me a little bit, Let's see. Which one did I last put up here? I don't even remember. I think it was this one. They kind of have grown on me, though, and they come in, of course, in some different colors, depending on the team. And finally, 91. 91. This is one of my favorite cards. I really, really love the front of this card. And the back, kind of that salmon color, I really like as well. Such a beautiful card. I just absolutely love this card with the Topps 40-year logo. These are kind of tough, too. A mint 9, 91 Topps Tiffany Nolan Ryan. Such a beautiful card. I should be emphasizing these backs, shouldn't I? And here I am, just putting them up here, showing all the fronts. I'm failing. Failing, but thank you for sticking with me if you stuck with me this long. All right, tell you what, let's do this. Let's put this bad boy here and check out that glorious back. You know what? We should be checking out a couple of these glorious backs. Thinking about which one to go with. Let's go with the 85 and the 84, kind of the first 2 years, to maximize perhaps the nostalgia there. A couple of the Tiffany backs. So you just saw my complete Tiffany base Nolan Ryan collection, which I've had for a while, really stoked about. Well, guess what? That is all the Nolan Ryan cards I have, except one more, which I'm taking out of its graded card sleeve right now. This was one of my national purchases. My only other Tiffany card. I'm not showing this for the back. I'm just showing it because, my only other Nolan Ryan card, sorry. I'm just showing it because, I just showed all of my Nolan Ryans except one, so let's show this one too. The 69 Topps, his first solo card. Wow, wow, wow. This is really, really nice. And I think I got a great buy on it too, at least at the time that I bought it at the National. Who knows? Maybe it's went down a little since then. I don't know. Prices have been softening, but that's the best you can do, right? Get a good buy at the time that you got it. But you know what? I was less concerned about, of course, I'm concerned about price, but I was less concerned about if I got it for a little less or a little more, and much more concerned about, do I love it? And I absolutely love this card. So super stoked to have it. Where are we going to put this bad boy? Can I lean it there, or is this a recipe? That is, I think, a recipe for disaster. I tell you what, I'm going to move this over here. We're going to move this over here, and then we'll put it kind of right there. Why not? Okay, so I've got the Tiffany's, and I've got the 69 Topps first solo card of Nolan Ryan. Would love to have his rookie at some point, but like I've mentioned before, these things get spendy. Not quite done with this VR for my collecting brother Rick because he wants to see backs. So we have a local card show. Sometimes John, the 3D80s kid, and I meet there. And this was one of the times that I went, but he did not. And I got a screaming steal of a deal on a card I wasn't even looking for. I mean, I knew it existed, but I wasn't really looking for it. It wasn't on my radar. And I got a steal of a deal, and I love the back. The front's nice, too. Food and beverage. Who does not love food and beverage issues? I think probably just about everybody loves them. They maximize the nostalgic experience. The 72 Icy Bear Kareem. This is a near mint to mint 8 older SGC, and it is so sharp and well centered. Just a beautiful, beautiful card that I got for, I don't know, maybe close to half of what it should go for. So the seller was motivated. And check that out. The Icy Bear himself spinning a basketball on his finger. And Kareem combines the advantages of a big man with the moves of a small man. He has the ability to control any game. 6-time NBA MVP, all-time leading scorer, at least until fairly recently when the non-GOAT eclipsed him. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Just had to put that out there. What a beautiful, beautiful card. Rick, I know you like some basketball. I think you might just like this. Love this Icy Bear. Who knows? Maybe, I think there might be a Wilt Chamberlain. Maybe I'll go after that sometime. But yeah, it's kind of fun. This is a card that I did not plan on obtaining. Tell you what, let's see if we can do this. Let me remove these others. And let's just get this Icy Bear up here and just kind of have it in the background. There we go. But yeah, sometimes it's fun to get something that you just were not at all expecting, and that's what I got, and I just love it. I actually thought, I contemplated when you make a good buy, this doesn't happen, too often. Now, during the pandemic, I think a lot of us did some of this. I certainly, was blessed to make some money with cards, even some flipping, just because the market was going so crazy. But I could have flipped this and made some money, and, I thought about it because, hey, I wasn't looking for it and got it for a great price, and could have made some bucks and bought something else, but I was like, I really like it. So I've hung on to it. Now I'm going to show you something. You guys, probably a lot of you know that I was quite the coin collector. In fact, I sold my Michael Jordan star card collection in order to buy coins some years ago. And I'm really, just feel free to just, let me have it, because I wish I wouldn't have done that. Not just because of the way the value increased, but because, I ended up deciding I really like those cards. Many of them I have gotten back in lower grades, not all of them by any means. But anyway, I bought coins with the profits, or not the profits, but just the proceeds from those sales. And so many of you know that I have sold coins, and one of the reasons that I've been able to get, some of the bigger cards like that Joe Dimaggio that I showed, as well as the, more expensive Willie Mays that I just showed, was because I had sold some of my coins. I've been liquidating coins slowly but surely and converting to sports cards, most notably vintage baseball. Well, I still have some coins left, about 20. A few of them don't have much value, but most of them have, a decent amount of value. So I may end up selling all of them. Time will tell. I thought, what the heck? Let me just go ahead and show you one of them. So here we go. This is the 1795 half dollar. Now here's the deal. Notice it's a little tougher to see than cards. It's tough. I'd have to get some stronger light here, but it's tough to, show coins well. So I'm kind of shining the light around, and you may only be able to see part of the surface at once. But what's going on here? Notice these denticles. Those are the raised, with all the little ridges or whatever around the edge of the coin. Those are really, really strong for this coin. In fact, for a 1795, most of the time, the denticles are so weak that you might only see half the date, like literally just totally smooth on much of the edge in many cases. So really strong denticles, which you often get that on the A over E States variety. So the reason this is the A over E States variety is, I don't know if it'll show up here, Probably can't make this show up very well on camera. Let me try to see if I can do something here and zoom in. See if I'm successful. I may be, I may not be. Okay, there you go. You might just see, you can look it up online. I guess I could try to find a picture, but a little bit of an E. The A in states, you can see a little bit of an E protruding on the top. So the engraver engraved the die and put an E there instead of an A, and then had to put the A over the E, creating this variety. Now, somebody might think, well, that's crazy. The engraver just misspelled states. I think what probably happened is there's an E after the second T, and, they started to put the E after the first T rather than the second, and, that's what happened. Now, there's some old scratches, kind of light old scratches on the back that have been toned over, so that's why this got the basically authentic grade, the genuine. For coins, they say genuine instead of authentic. Scratches with fine details. Overton is the guy who studied die varieties on these, so it's die variety number 113A. The toning, this has some beautiful toning that is not showing up so great in this lighting. It's not original toning, there's no way, but it's beautiful toning nonetheless. Look at that big blob to the right of the 5 in the date. What is that? That was some sort of a depression in the die that shows up as a raised piece of metal on the on the surface of the coin. You can even kind of see some lines like around the stars. That's where there were die cracks, and then those show up as raised lines on the surface of the coin. This is a tough coin. I tell you what, it may only be, genuine, but I tell you what, to find one that looks this nice, especially for the price I paid. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's worth a fair amount more now. I bought this many years ago at a heritage auction, and it is not even a comma coin. I got it for, I think, the price at the time. But yeah, really, really nice eye appeal. So for this series, the Flowing Hair series, you can see Liberty has the flowing hair, only $17.94 and $17.95. The $17.94 though is much scarcer and goes for a lot more money. So if you're looking for a type, a lot of people collect coins by type. If you're looking to get this type of coin, a flowing hair $50, you'd pretty much go with the $17.95. Just like if you're looking to get a mantle type card, it's probably not the 52 tops. It's just way too expensive. This is a truly beautiful coin. Might get converted. Maybe it'll become part or all of a Willie Mays card down the road. Who knows? Might get converted to vintage baseball cards or maybe I keep it long term. Time will tell. All right. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for sharing in my joy. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the vintage sanctuary here with Joe Big Head Dimaggio. Take care, my friends.